If I have to see one more hit piece on Blake Lively, I think I'm gonna scream. Please learn to recognize this as our culture once again having fun tearing a woman down who is only behaving with the same ineptitude that men are allowed to get away with all the time. I'm not saying that Blake Lively is blameless, but she has committed the kinds of missteps that we allow men to commit all the time without cancelling them in the media and making 1,000 hit pieces about them. Men, in fact, get away with significantly worse behaviour, with violent crimes, with sexual assault, with exploitation, with abuse of power. Famous men commit this behaviour all the time, and they do not get systematically torn down across the media, as is happening to Blake Lively at the moment. As for the movie It Ends With Us, I have not read the book. However, I do know that it concerns a relationship that contains domestic violence, but which is played as a romantic story, possibly even that has aspects of the romance that are aspirational, right? And so people are coming for Blake Lively for using the promotion of her film, she's the star in the film, to promote her hair care line, to promote it as a fun little rom-com, and to really kind of refuse to reflect on the themes of DV and abusive relationships in the film while she's talking about it on the press tour. Have any of the men in the film done any advocacy for DV? People are also using this opportunity to rake back through Blake's career and find times when she was impolite to journalists. They're finding examples of her co-stars seeming to imply that she's a bitch without actually saying it. What woman with some kind of power isn't going to be perceived sometimes by people as a bitch? And even if she is a dyed-in-the-wool, horrible person, how is that worse than Johnny Depp? How is that worse than Chris Brown? Even when there are valid critiques, we are still seeing targeted harassment and takedowns deployed in ways that don't get deployed against men who do the same things at the same scale or worse. Please, I beg of you, get better at realizing when there is a huge uptick of conversation negatively about a woman in the media, this is deliberate, it is targeted, and it is a product of our systemically misogynist society that delights in tearing women down. And frankly, I still don't see how it is Blake Lively's job to be the beacon of domestic violence advocacy that she's supposed to be when acting in a film that imperfectly handles the theme of domestic violence. When was the last time you took down a famous man for not appropriately addressing any of the misogynistic or violent themes in his film? When was the last time the internet jumped on any Marvel film for depicting too much violence and for the press tours to not deal with the violence in that film? I am not trying to minimize the problem of DV, but what I'm trying to say is that if we are going to think of DV as an important issue to be tackled in our society, there are so many ways we can do that, but deciding to tear down a woman at the center of a movie about it isn't the way. Because when we do that, we're just enacting the same kind of misogynistic harassment and bullshit that leads to people thinking that they're entitled to commit DV in the first place.